Hey, saltwater anglers, and welcome to the Lower Chesapeake Bay Fishing Report, your local report, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. This podcast is part of the Great Days Outdoors Network, and each week we'll be talking to local experts to learn ways we can become better anglers in our pursuits offshore, nearshore, and inshore. To keep this amazing fishery healthy and thriving for generations to come, remember to protect what you pursue. Summer fishing is fired up with warm water and hungry fish moving into the bay. So let's hear who's making the show possible, and then we'll jump into the reports. If you spend time on the water, you're going to want to download this app. The new Ceto app is the quickest and most innovative way for all boaters to get help on the water. Automatic GPS sharing, coastal marine forecast by zone, real-time wind conditions, radar, and interactive tide charts with maps makes this app essential for daily boating. It's built for ease of use and reliability. It's all things boating, all in one finely designed app. Download it for free today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to this week's episode of the Lower Chesapeake Bay Fishing Report. I'm excited to talk to one of my favorite captains because he has been waylaying the fish offshore lately. And it has been so fun to watch all of his stories. If you want to see a Mahi get punched right in the nose because of a bat, what you normally use is missing, this is who you want to be tuning into his stories. Captain Bill Papp is playing hooky. Welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, Dan. Welcome aboard playing hooky today, buddy. We'll take one of those too.
Oh man, it's been so fun lately to watch you guys going out there. You have just been on them. But man, first catch us up, man. How's the boat running? How are those 350s treating you? How's the water been offshore? What's been cracking on playing hooky lately?
Hey, I'll tell you what, man. We had a little weird weather week first for a little bit of time where we had to kind of squeeze out there, fish through some rain, and we also had some great weather. We went out there, and the marlin fishing's picking up, and the mahi is on fire. We're playing hooky, loves catching mahi. We've been doing it for many years. And we love it. We actually do. We actually are. Yeah, I can tell you.
I love it
Don't
too
laugh.
because
I was about to
I've
say
had...
we might even be the number one mahi boat in the state. Or my cul-de-sac, or my cul-de-sac. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. That's
all I
shout
can
out to
say.
the homies. I love
Trophy,
everybody.
trophy to the side. The Tahi Makos, I've had the pleasure of having them, and they are absolutely insane. That is the best part about catching a mahi is having some Tahi Makos.
Yes, sir. My son and I just had 14 the other day. I made it through. I thought I was gonna get 7 and 7, but I tapped out at 6 and he ate the other one, so he went up to 8. But those things are amazing, guys. You guys always come to this podcast for that Tahi Mako recipe. Hopefully, when you look it up, you can just Tahi Mako and it comes up here. But it'll be in the cookbook, guys. It'll be coming out here 2020, just like promised. And we'll get that thing. Nah, honestly, if I didn't have surgery this spring, which I appreciate you even asking about, but yeah, if I didn't have that, it was planned to be this spring. So, and I usually try to fulfill my goals. So my next goal is, and just so you guys do know, I'm waiting to talk to Kinders, and I'm going to talk to Kinders about it. Maybe they want to sponsor it and go, national with it or something, because I use a lot of their seasoning and they're huge. They're Walmart plus, so they're little. So I don't know. I'm not asking for anything either. So I mean, if they don't mind if I use their seasonings in my recipes, I would love to go ahead and include them. And if it works out, it works out for both of us. I'm one of those back scratchers. If somebody gives me one T-shirt, I pay you back 5 T-shirts. You may only want one. You may only want 2, but in the few years we're going to be together, you're getting 5 back, and I'll feel better that way.
It's really bizarre that you just mentioned Kinders because of all the people that I could have recently played golf with. I was out at Big Cedar Lodge and playing Buffalo Ridge. No, I'm sorry. Ozark National was our third round. And of all the people that I could have been paired to play with was Brian Leffler. I might have pronounced his last name wrong, but he's the co-founder of Kinders. Played a round of golf with him.
God.
Yeah, so we'll debrief after the pod. But
yes, sir, right after the pod. So what do you think? Things work out for a reason, they say.
Yeah, and they have an incredible story about
I just want to
how
share.
they grew, and he's a great guy.
Man.
He left.
Tell me all that.
3 great pieces of advice, and this applies to any business. I said, hey man, what's been the real secret to your success as you've scaled from a 30 million to this year probably just over $1 billion in revenue? And he said, number 1, stay street smart. Number 2, stay humble. And number 3, stay hungry. And he said, and above all else, remember, you're always a guest in your customer's home. And I was like, man, that's brilliant. So that's some killer business for you.
Yeah, well, he does spices, so man, that'd be a great connection, man. And look, and a lot of these recipes I do use, They are. They're just basically what people are pumped on this cookbook for. When I'm pumped, the share really is, and profit there, profit not. I already consider profit not. Just the fact that I want to get out the recipes of the local fish to locals, man. I've been
Yeah.
eating the same fish all the time. I have like if this is ready in the yard, you eat it. If that's ready in the yard, you eat it. Well, when the when you see red birds in the yard in the spring, sea bass start biting real good. If you see bluebirds, the tog are biting real good. When you see the crepe myrtles open, that means the
Hmm.
flounder. When they open up, that's when the flounder is going to be the best bite. Now, these are timed different
Interesting.
days of each year, but you'll look at things inland that'll tell you what's going to happen exactly on the water as well. So these being said, is these things are meant for us to eat that time of year. Maybe it's for certain protein or a certain and something we're supposed to have, but I believe it. So I like to have triggerfish this time of year. I like to have flounder that time of year. I like
Mm,
to eat cobia this time of year. I like to have tuna when tuna's here. I think they're seasonal for a reason. And I like
yep.
the fact that humans are smart enough to freeze stuff and vegetables that'll grow year round indoors or whatever they do. But the fact is, I told my son this is a great philosophy. I always drop on the cash, guys. The further away from man your food is, the better it is for you. Just
Yeah.
remember that. That's why we love fishing, guys. That's why we go do what we do. Get
Yep.
away
And
from, you know
one
what
of
I
the
mean?
cool things about Mahi, just like cobia, Mahi, I think, is what the first or second fastest growing fish. And I think
Yes,
cobia is like third
fastest.
or fourth. And so what's important about that is when you compare that to other pelagics, like obviously tunas can get pretty big, but like the amount of heavy metals, the amount of chances for any, like they grow so fast to a mature age within like a year or two. So like they're so sustainable, they're so healthy, they're nutritious. There's really virtually nothing bad in them. It's just such a great protein to eat.
And it's far enough away from the industrial bait fishermen so that they can actually have food out there and still
Right.
survive. That's the
Right.
truth. Let's get on it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
man
well,
can't really put a dent unless you put a bay. If you have a bay, you can really hurt a fishery, but we'll not talk
yeah.
about that. We'll just leave that
It's
under the rug with everything else.
we're gonna leave
Yep,
that under the
I'm not
rug.
getting pumped. I am
There's been
not getting
enough
pumped.
said. You and I don't need to get our blood pressure up because
Necessary,
that's
necessary.
a subject that could get our blood pressure up. But you guys have been having such a blast with these mahi. So and today was special too because you guys were out there and you caught something unique while mahi and other types of offshore fishing. So talk us through some of your recent trips with these mahi and cue us in on like how can we catch mahi this time of year? I remember a couple months back we were talking. You're like, "Yep, come sometime in July, it's going to pop off," and boom, it's popped off. So what have we been
It
doing?
is. All right, man. So we've found some structures here and there, and we've also been finding floats. We've gotten lucky over this sometimes where you find a tree. You see it in my story. I'm like, look at this tree. We find a whole tree full of mahi, and they wouldn't eat. You're
Oh
like,
no.
guys, just remember, if they don't eat this way, they'll try that way, and if they don't work that way, try that way, and then wait a few more minutes, and then try the other way again. It'll work, man. You just never know these things. Sometimes you gotta. It's like Kenny Rogers on the boat, guys. You gotta know when to hold them and know when to
Know
fold
when to
them,
fold them and know
and
when to walk away.
when to walk away and when to run. And
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta run that boat, guys. But yeah, you always okay. You guys know obviously you want to look for anything floating at any time. If you want, you can follow. You can get these concrete blobs and stuff and go out there and make some kind of thing happen. I mean, it's probably you're not allowed to do it somewhere somehow. You're not allowed to throw things out for to collect fish, but I know there's people that do it and I'm sure they have success doing it, man. I mean, if you work hard enough and let's put it this way, guys, and let's just be straight here. $1,200 worth of fads. $1,200. It was six of them, guys. The time and the amount of concrete mixing, time amount of engineering, the time amount of trial and error over 15 years is what produces results.
Yeah.
It's trial and error is one thing, reading this and that, and being held down by the man because everything's bad that makes you happy. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of things out there that it's not going to be that bad. So there's these things in Florida I heard they called fads, guys, and they're fish attracting devices. I guess people put out from time to time, and the fish like to congregate about them. Well, you roll up to them and you throw out some bait of your choice, inlet bait.
Little chum.
Yep, get them feisty, and then throw out
Yeah.
one or two, get a couple on, and start winging them in the boat, guys. And man, I tell you what, you have a great time doing it. They're on a charter. If you're all by yourself and you see some smaller fish, you might pass on them. But on a charter, when people see fish swim by the boat and they're on a flounder trip, and we have a whole bunch of fish ambush us at a wreck we're on. I mean, ambushed us, just came up there. So we started throwing out baits for them, and the charter had a blast catching them. Well, they stopped biting on the bait. So, guys, we got some 3-inch jigs with single hooks, took off the trebles and put single hooks on, and you throw them pretty far out, and you give them a quick retrieve and a pop, and next thing you know, you got one on. When you get one on, you kind of leave him by the boat so that the other fish will hang out with you for a little bit, and then you throw another jig out. Then you can start having a back and forth rotation where you get one, and you play leapfrog, and you can really put a catch together doing that. And if you're on a charter and you're a charter captain, hey, it's something
It's a
that really
deal.
makes their day. You guys already know.
So
Um,
I was watching your story the other day, and you guys had like cut up something, and you just tossed this one thing out, and then I watched, and you like waited for the mahi to eat that, and then you were like, "Okay, now get your jigs in the water." And it was like you created a
It's a
feeding
rhythm.
frenzy.
It's a rhythm. It's kind of like rhythm.
Yeah,
You got to have a rhythm going. That way, you got one here, one there, and you got action going to keep them interested. And then you
yeah.
got to feed in between when there's a lull. You might want to keep them around and do other things so that you have these fish with you, man. And mahi is one of like you said the fastest growing fish. They're delicious. They're colorful. I mean, people love them. I love them, and we work really hard at catching them. I mean, we've caught our limit so many times in the past. I mean, 5 to 10 years that it's just been a lot out of Virginia Beach, and we were talking consistency. I'm not bragging in any way. All I'm saying is proudly that we have done this through the hard work and being the fish being there and cooperating and under
Yeah.
system and through a system we developed. Man, I mean, you got to imagine you get two guys like Russell. I mean, Russell's awesome, dude. I mean, he knows the kill machine the way we got our headsets. We're out there doing it like
I
he's a kill
noticed that.
master.
You guys
And
got the
yeah,
headsets
it really
going now.
well. When you're up top, or even when you're working, there's everyone screaming and talking, doing all the things.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
only way to get over somebody else's voice to raise your voice louder, which in translation means if you're yelling. So you're yelling
Upset.
all the
Yeah.
time. Well, no, you're yelling, and I don't want to yell. My job, I don't want to yell.
Yeah.
I like when I get excited. I get it. I get kind of pumped. Sometimes I don't like when I get too excited, but I like being out there and getting pumped. But
Yeah.
when I can just say in as calming as here, hey Russ, here he comes, leader him up. All right, you got it,
Yeah.
buddy. All right, he's taking it.
Yeah.
We're swinging nowhere.
And you're
It,
right.
it
You're
calms
right
him
there.
down. It calms
Yeah.
him down.
Yep.
He does a
Yep.
better job. Plus, if something's going on the other side, I can get him over there and getting something out of the motor if something's about to happen bad. And it just really helpful. Now other fisheries, you don't typically use them for them, but
Yeah.
for a couple of them, it really comes in handy. I'm sure tournament fishing, it's one of the top things.
Yeah.
And it really comes in handy for that, man. We had four of them out in the tournament, and it was cool having them.
That's awesome. So talk me through a couple of things. So with mahi, I've seen where you chop up the baits, whether that's like chunked up squid or chunked up whatever you got on board, bait fish, some buoy jacks, whatever, something oily. What kind of leader and hook are you using for mahi? Because I know mahi can be small, they can be little peanuts, chicken dolphin, they can be a little bit bigger. I've seen where you guys have been gaffing some lately, some
Mm.
gaffers. But
Well,
do
those are on a
you?
troll mostly. The gaff is
Oh,
a
okay.
troll form. Yeah, you don't get. And
But
some of
what
them will gaff on a spinner if you can.
what
If you
kind
get
of what kind of leader material and hook are you using?
guys, we like to use the pen. We just use our cobia sets, cobia setups. Just chop off that, put a hook on, and send it. Oh, but I like. You can go a little lighter than that leader, but I like
Okay.
that. We like that setup right there.
So like 30, 40 pound
30,
leader
30
and
pound,
then
40 pound braided. We use braided.
yeah.
We got the braided, and then we go about 30 to 40 liter or even 50 liter.
Does it need
For a
to be
big
fluid?
crop.
Does it
I
does it
like
need to
using the
be
clear. I like using
fluorocarbon?
the colors aren't going to matter, man.
Okay.
And they can see your hook is the problem. They can see
Ah,
your hook, and if they're thinking they're not eating that well, that's a tougher fish to catch, and you have to break out the
got
jig.
it.
But if they're feeding, they're going to eat everything you throw at them until they're stuffed. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
they're the friskiest fish. And once mahi turn on for the season, they're on everywhere until they shut down. I've noticed
Got
a
it.
pattern in them where in the spring they don't bite as good. You can throw a million things at them, they won't eat that good. You do this or do that, then they'll get the bite. Or you get it back on. You get back on the troll. You can get them. There's a whole bunch of techniques you can try to get these things. Throw out the poppers. I
Ah,
mean, you just can't.
yep.
If you don't quit, you'll figure out. You figure them out. It's like a video game, guys. You play all the levels, you'll figure out more stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you don't play
Yeah.
but one level, you're going to learn a few things, but you got to be, and you don't get much chances when you don't, you can barely go. But us out there, we've developed a system over time that actually puts a lot more fish in the boat. It actually helps out. But we're charters. We got to do that.
Yeah.
That's how we make the action happen.
Yeah.
We build our boat specifically for running for Mahi, being fast and quick to do that. That's what I mean. There's not a lot of boats that can run because of the fuel economy. We built it to be a 150-gallon canyon boat, and it's surpassed that. And with the new motors, it's over exceeded that. So
Yeah.
we're doing okay. That's why I haven't really had to raise the price at the time being. Plus, the economy's not the best. So let's just
Yeah.
keep it where it's at until I need to. But I mean, I'm not making more because of what I'm doing. That's for sure. I'm losing out a little, but overhead and everything coming back, we'll be all right. You know, what I always say is hard work just to be fine. Hard work and some praying with God, you'll be all right.
Yeah,
You just
absolutely.
you just keep doing what you're doing, and it'll be all come out okay.
And speaking of praying, I mean, I've tried to gaff a mahi in the past, like the bigger ones. I mean, that is definitely, you
That's
do have to
the
say a
thing.
prayer. They're
No,
so crazy. Like, what's the
no.
strategy or the
Thank you for
technique?
asking, guys. This is the best thing you'll learn all day, guys. The gaffing and netting. And this is another thing with netting. We tell people this, and it still never registers. All right, guys, look. You're all fishermen. We all love it. Most of y'all are captains and good fishermen, man. I know y'all out there. I see a lot. I'll talk to you, tons of y'all. I probably talked to at least 50 to 100 people, maybe or more, that have listened to this podcast. These aren't just people. Hey, it's like genuine people that have come up to my son and talked. Anyway, the point of this is, guys, gaffing and netting. The problem people have, and I learned this from Yanni. I'll give you a shout out from back in the day. I doubt you listen, but here it goes. I'm not a very big guy, right? You know, but I'm not the guy you want to probably tussle with either. But still, I ain't a very big dude. I'm just not. But you just probably not. But anyway, so back in the day, we had probably looking at it, we were like 70 pounder or something like this. Probably a big cobia. Like I'm gonna go 65, maybe 70 pounder ish. My
That is a
buddy,
big
my
one.
buddy, my buddy has it on. It comes to the boat. We're chumming off the fourth. We're sitting on the shoals. We got the double chum bags out, and we got a hoss, dude. We bring this thing all the way up. I go to throw the gaff in it, but the guy who's fighting it is a bigger guy than me, way bigger than me. And for in his mind, and this is what everyone else does too. You know what? Might not even been that I was small and he thought about any of this. But bottom line was, while I was gaffing it, he was pulling it in the boat as hard as he could. Now there's
Uh,
your problem, guys. All right. Here's the problem: is people cannot do that. You got to literally tell people, hey, not on a cobia, guys, but on a mahi, and especially on a mahi. In a cobia, same thing. If you're gonna net it, but I mean, you got to let the thing fall in the net or fall on the gaff. They don't understand it. Right when that thing hits the gaff, when you hit that thing, it's a 30-pound fish, and I'm going to pull it out of the water. And if I'm pulling with 20 to 30 pounds of pressure and you're pulling with 15, I've only got 15 pounds on that fish, and he's going to flop right off the gaff. You got to let it fall. Like right when that thing hits the gaff, drop your rod tip down and let him fall on the gaff. There's a video of me. I mean,
yeah.
not me, but I'm by myself, and I actually by myself, I'm pulling one back, and you literally got to drop him on the gaff. I throw the rod down and everything and yoke him in. I mean, you got to let it fall on the gaff. Sometimes you got to open your bail back up. And we have Tommy Bryan. If you listen, buddy, this is you, buddy. I love you, buddy. He books us with us every year. But last year, he was every time. I was loving it. Every time Russ would go for a gaffer, dude, he would try to pull it in and pull it off the gaff. They were swinging, and it was falling back in the water. And it makes the gaff guy look like he's just terrible, like he doesn't know
Yeah.
what he's
Yeah.
doing. And there's no line left out in the pole. Look, they reel it in so tight sometimes. There's like 2 foot of line left. They're pulling it in like it's on a bamboo stick, dude.
Yeah.
And Russ is trying to
Yeah.
gaff it with the fish flying at him in the air, tail whipping him in the face, almost. You know
Uh,
what I mean? Like, dude, this is and then he and through the trip he'll get it. I love you, Tommy. You know I do. Anyway,
yeah.
Tommy, and then you got to drop him on the gaff. When you finally drop him on the gaff, he can be pulled in with his weight into the boat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always, when I grab the gaff, right when I'm grabbing the gaff, I'm always like, hey guys, I'm like, hey, get ready. Like, get ready to drop. Right when I hit him with that gaff, let him fall on the gaff. He's got to fall. Okay, don't pull him in with me. I got it. I'm like, all right, all right. And then you figure you got to calm him down a little too to get him to do it. Because they
Yeah.
still will hear you say, all right, and they'll still try to do it. Try to pull their fish.
Yep.
Like, it's my
Yep.
fish. I fought him
Yep.
this long. I'm tired. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, it's a battle, man. That's why they call it a fight. But that's your number one thing. Same thing with a net. People just don't understand. But when you're putting it in a net, let it fall in the net.
Yeah.
Pull the head up, and right when they fall, let it swim down in the net. Like that's it, and let it come on and open your bail. Or
Yeah.
or
There's
or let some line out. Let some line out.
absolutely.
Some people don't know what the bail is.
Yeah, I know. You open the bail, they're just standing there looking at you, deer in the headlights, because the's so much,
Hey, hey, there's a
adrenaline
shout out. There's
coursing
a
through their
shout out to
body.
Russ. There's a shout out to Russ. Free spool, free spool, free spool, free spool. He says that.
What is that?
He says
Uh,
free. He says free spool, and like they have any idea what free
what
spool
that
means.
is? Yeah,
Dude, he
yeah.
goes free spool,
That's
free spool, free spool. He says it like that. I need a shirt of it, dude. I love it.
yeah.
I get in the
That's like
headset.
when you have
I
a
get the
charter
headset. I'm
guest
like,
on board. Yeah, they're like, where's the where are the towels at? Oh, and you're like, oh, stern starboard hatch. They're like, huh? Oh, sorry. back
Freeze
right
to
hatch.
us, man. I love it, dude.
No, but that's such a great tip, and I can tell you why. I've looked at several videos that I have on my phone from back in the day of netting cobia, and some of them were taken in slow motion. And when you look back and you look through the frames, it's remarkable to see how much leverage a cobia can gain off of the tension of the hook in its mouth. And I have seen where they've literally jumped themselves out of the net. And you look, and the angler is like got the rod tip way up
Leaning
in the
back, they're
air,
leaning
and
back. They're
they're
like,
pulling as hard as they
come on,
possibly
give
can.
me
And it's
my
like,
fish. Give me my
just
fish.
just let the fish fall into the bag of, it's like the thing I always try to tell people is like when you're netting a cobia, it's like I'm like, hey, everything we're about to do is surgical, and let's just communicate, and as soon as you get that momentum of the head past the loop of the net, just drop the rod tip. And when you do it right like that, it's crazy how easy it is. I mean, it's an effortless motion.
When you're on the water, your boat deck should work as hard as you do. Deck Hampton Roads offers custom non-skid marine flooring solutions built for comfort, traction, and a clean finished look. Whether you fish hard, cruise with the family, or spend long days barefoot on deck, Deck helps make your boat safer, cooler, and more comfortable underfoot. Their process includes digital scanning, CAD design, CNC precision cutting, and professional installation for a custom fit instead of a one-size-fits-all solution. Ready to upgrade your boat? Call Deck Hampton Roads at 434-378-8004 for an estimate and to see how good your deck can look and feel when you deck it out.
Speaking of cobia, so what were you guys doing today? What were you fishing for today? What did y'all go out of Virginia Beach to charter for?
Today we were doing a whale watching trip, and we were happened to be. No, I'm just kidding. Look.
Like, wait a second. What?
We went flounder fishing,
Okay.
and we went flounder and sea bass fishing out at the top secret, guys. The
Where?
windmills. The windmills. No
I
one knows, guys. No one knows exactly where we've been, but
want
we
to know
actually
exactly which windmill you were fishing at.
we were at J3. Just kidding. It's in my story, dude.
I know. That's why I was
already,
laughing.
already
I
blew
thought
it
it was
up. Already
great.
blew it up. You know, honestly, I always make it. You guys don't even have a clue. I'll give you guys something. Here's something you don't know about me. I've been specifically using this edit button on my phone called Cleanup, and I've been wiping the windmills out for 2 months straight. So, and none of my pictures, besides lately when it's been overdone by everyone else, I have not put windmills that are little tiny ones in the back, little all of
Yeah.
it gone. I just swipe them right out with the cleanup feature on iPhone.
Ah,
Leave
there you
clean.
go.
I've been cleaning them up. I used to do it at the Bay Bridge Tunnel. I would do all that for the. I know why to do that. Not for me and my charter guys. I do it for everybody so that, I have such an opportunity to be doing what I do, and I post a lot of things where people have a high
Yeah.
visibility. If I give away every single, dude, there's people that don't want to see people that peers that get mad at people for posting peer pictures. I mean,
Right.
I get it. I get it. But
Yeah.
but someone's proud of their catch. Some guy has never been up there. Boy, that's a way to get a peer crowd mad. But hey, on the boat, same thing. I try not
Yep.
to show the things that I have an opportunity to do what I do. So I try to keep it down. I don't always want to tell everybody everything either, because then my guys or all my friends and fellow charter captains, they get, they could get upset. Which, I respect them, and we're all great together. But I tell you this much, this is just a general statement, real quick, while I'm on it. Before I go in there, I would love to make a general statement. It would be awesome at Virginia Beach charter captains and Virginia ones, but Virginia Beach especially just man, stick up for each other and look out for each other, man. It's
Yeah.
better for the area, it's better for fishing, better for business. It might look good, it might be get comments, and I guess Howard Stern said it best is, any publicity is good publicity, negative or not. But I'll tell you what, man, we've had a lot of that in this area for over the years, and I'm not saying it hasn't done us something, but it hasn't done us the best. Okay, there's guys like us, there's guys like David Wright, there's guys like there's a lot of boats out there that just keep everything positive and comment great things on other people's things, and we support each other, and that's great. I mean, there's gonna be little beefs, I get it. But we need to put it
Yeah.
all aside and realize that it's tough times right now, and everybody's fighting for scraps. I get it. It's tough right now,
Yep.
man. And
Yep.
there's people that still love to fish and come in town to relieve themselves from the tough times and to have some good times. So
Yep.
as we do that, we should just remember to look out for each other, respect each other, and pat each other on the back when we can. If not, talk to Chad. Tell my kids to talk to Chad. You know what Chad is? Chat up. That's right. If you ain't got nothing to say, chat up. I don't want to hear it.
Shut up.
Chat up. I don't want to hear it. That's enough.
There's
Talk to
there's a
Chad,
lot
bro. And if your
there's a
name's
lot
Chad,
of
you're cool, man. Not you, bro.
yeah, there's
So
a lot of
anyway,
wisdom in what you just said, and I'll second what you said with this. It's just like we talk about on the show all the time, protect what you pursue And, charter captains are out there earning a living. And I think people forget about that. Like
Not all of
you're
them, not all of them. Some of them don't depend on it, and they're still passionate. They still run their boats like they do, and they still fish hard and deliver to their clients, just like do. They're great
right.
guys, but there's a few out there that full time, full year round depend on it. So, and it doesn't
Yeah.
mean we're better than anybody at all, but it just means like
Yeah.
that's just got to be taken into consideration from time to time. And they're great. Like
Yeah.
I said, they're excellent.
It's you're providing an experience and you're working hard to provide that experience. And it's something that people can easily forget about, that it's not a chest beating competition. It's not
Oh,
there's nothing else. You guys are in it for the passion and the love of what it is. And I would say, to capture what you said, it's like, hey guys, let's keep the main thing, and let's be humble about it. Like what Brian from Kinder said, it's like, stay street smart, cool, be savvy in your business, be lethal when you need to. Like that's certainly part of it, but be humble and stay hungry. And I think it's easy to forget that part, to be humble and to stay hungry, because the
you
moment
know
you have
what?
a little
There's
bit
some.
of success, it's easy to just let it go straight to your head.
Yeah, but some of the animosity does come from being hungry, though. I mean, some of the oh
Yeah,
man, because look, and I need to say this more often, but I'll go out and catch fish. I'll have a great day, and I'll see fish and be like, damn, and I'll feel the same way people feel about my catches, like, oh, you suck or whatever. I mean, I
yeah,
get the same animal. Like I get. Here's why, guys, and here's can I tell you why I figured it out? We're hunters. We're natural hunters.
yeah,
If I went out one day and I came back and I hung my boots up on, I hung my spear down, and I stand around my wife and kids and they're looking at me and they're making porridge that night and we're having bread. I go over to my buddy's house and he's hanging a deer right there, bro. And I'm like, damn, that's the way I
yeah,
feel. You're gonna
yeah.
feel that way. You know what that makes you want to do? Go
Be
back out the
better.
next day and get your freaking deer, dude. Go
Yep,
get yours, man. Go get
yep,
it. It's right out there. Go get it. So that's what
yep.
it is. That's all it is, man. And that's the same thing. We all when we don't have a this, oh, I got Mahi, I didn't get tuna. Oh, they got the tuna. I didn't get the. So I mean, it's just way it's human nature, man. We're made to be like that. We're made to be competitive and
Yep.
savvy and hungry. So stay hungry, but just stay hungry on your own stay hungry on your own page. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
People,
That's all. Stay
that's a
hungry,
good
running.
point.
Stay in your lane. It's cool, man. It's all good. We're all good.
People are tuning in for fishing tips, and they're like, we didn't realize we were going to get philosophy today. But
Man, you
no,
always get
take
that. You always get
take
that too.
us, take us back
All
to the
right,
trip
back to
today.
today's trip.
What
Sorry, I
happened?
sidetracked.
No,
I got
you're
burned.
good. You're
That
good.
was a
You're
good
good.
diversion. It was a great diversion. But here we go, guys. Here we go. Here's what Luke wanted because he tried to ask me before the show, and I was like, "Nope, I'm making you wait to the show. The suspense is going to drive you." All right, guys. So I'll give you a Ohio charter experience on playing hooky today, guys. This is a special, and we usually don't like to talk about these type of trips because you keep it on the. If you break down or you do things, guys, charter count. I don't usually post. We're back in action and nothing. You just keep it moving. Don't keep it moving. That's the best thing to do for business. Just remember that. So the same thing goes with this story I'm about to tell, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. Here we go, guys. So I got a group from Ohio. They're looking great. They come down and they're awesome. They're telling me about walleyes and pikes and stuff like that. They're ready to get out there. They've been on a lake, nice boat. Or we get a couple little notches of speed cruising out. And as soon as we stop the boat, right off the bat, I look out and I'm like, and we're set up on the spot lock, and I gotta admit, I'll tell you this now as a sidebar, guys. You guys must have been listening and cleaned out Amazon, man. There ain't no ear patches. They're like 2 week wait on them, man. They done blown up, like they're gone, like they're like I bought them this anyway. So we have on. So back to the story. We don't have ear patches now. Thank you, guys. So I don't even tell people about my things I like at chocolate milk and at Walmart because Russell buy them all and they'll be out anyway. Point of this is, guys, there was no ear patches. We pull over the boat, we set up, and the first father, really tall gentleman, does the old put the hand over the mouth to a foot and a half away from the rail, and he erupts like a volcano.
Oh no.
Whoosh, it sprays everywhere, bro. No names included. It's gone everywhere. Goosh, he gets it over. I'm like, oh, sweet, dude, nice. And then I already see a wobble bobble in the center, just sitting there like a time bomb, just wobbling and bobbling. He's looking like he's wobbling. He's gonna go. He's back, 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 back. He doesn't even make it standing up yet. He's already erupting as he stands up in slow mo, all over the ground, splatter on the ground, dude. Russ and I'm in the front of we by the wheel. Russ is in the back by the motors. We're looking at each other face to face, both going, hoo pow. We look at each other like, oh shit. Like, no. We're like, no, man. And then he's like, whoa, and then he just finishes the whole rail off. Wow. And then we're like, all right, cool, we got 2. And we're like, all right, so we kind of clean him up and we get the boat moving to clean up and get the plug out and get all cleaned up. We're back, we're good. And usually
Yeah.
it's about time for the ear patches. We couldn't launch the ear patches. Like, oh, so then we get him back on a beanbag. He's good. Pop stands back up. The other kid's like sitting there and he's the solid longest kid. He's been killing it. He's like, guys, and he had some good banner. He was like, guys, I think it's my time. And he puts his rod down. He's like, whoa! And he sends it
Oh
right.
no.
And the primary, Tom, anyway, I won't use his name. The primary on the left, we call him the primary, like the show, the cruise show.
Yeah,
Hey, the
yeah.
primary
Below
guy,
deck.
it's the guy who booked.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Russ says, yes, you got to work tip hard today. But I was like, yeah. So anyway, Tom, and he's just having a blast. Him and his board just standing up like nothing's bothering. He's like probably threw in together. Like nothing's even happening, dude. They're like, James goes down, dude. He's like, he's down. He's just sitting it up. And he's like, and his color comes back. And he's like, all right, guys, I'm feeling better. Hops back up, goes back to fishing, does a little bit better. And then in between that, number 4 goes, and I was like, get to the rail. And I kind of get him to the rail. And he's like, no. And he gets his on, dude. He's like,
God.
"God." He's like, why? And he gets his on. He's like, just like whoosh, whoosh. And I'm like, man, we got fun. And then what, dude, honestly, man, it wasn't that bad. It was just coming
It
at us
just
from
got
different
him.
sides and angles.
Yeah.
It was just the stage. I've went through it before on the show, but it's one. You got stage 1 right when you get on the boat. Stage 2 give you dirty looks of time right when the boat stops. They go stage 3 right when they start. Right when they're done fishing, the adrenaline wears off. They go stage 4, act like they're not seasick, get mad at you the whole day, never throw up, just give you dirty looks all day.
Yeah.
And then and there's other stages. But so look, so here's we are. We're back. Everybody, we got four bobbing and coming up, and me and Russ are, dude. We're like literally a couple of guys. And listen, this is what we do on Playing Hooky. I don't know how we do it, but it's either youngest kid or the person that needs the most help. We go right to that. I go right to that person now on spot lock. I can walk around and help. I go right to the youngest kid or the person, the grandma, whoever needs the most help. That way, Russ can go boof, 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 and do all his things everywhere, and I can give the attention to who needs it. Well, we had 2 children that needed some help. They were definitely needing some help. They were just, they weren't the average probably fishermen, so they hadn't fished as much, but they were great kids. And so so I stayed with them, giving them help. But that's when he came back off the bench, and I was like, here we were fishing, like, here you go. And dude, to see them kids light up every time they got a fish up, and they were pumped, throwing them in the basket, they were counting them. I mean, they were having a great. We had triggerfish, we had some jacks come up and do some crazy stuff. But the primary and his son just kept jamming. Then the other dad saw all the other people puke, and he was like, the first one, he was like, and he reel it up. And then the other guy saw the other guy, was like, oh, and they were like a symphony, dude. So the first 10 minutes was wild. The rest of the trip was all right because they were having a great time catching fish, even though they were coming back up and down. It's just
Was it sea bass or flounder that you
it
guys were
was
catching?
we were murking the sea bass. We had a flounder with a couple throwbacks,
Yeah.
but at that point in time, it wasn't teaching them how to flounder fish. You know what I'm saying? It really
Yeah.
wasn't.
That's tough.
Let's
Yeah.
get technical. It was kind of like they were killing it. They were having a blast. Didn't want to go nowhere, and the other people were sucking up beanbags. And hey,
Yeah.
those beanbags are undefeated, bro. They got the most knockouts in history, dude. Those things
No
are not.
doubt.
But
No doubt.
but look though, so they had a great time. They were catching fish, and we ended. So I pull over. I keep working my way in, and I'm like, you know what? We're fishing this one, and I look out, and I'm on the bottom with the glasses on. I'm like, oh my god! I go, Russ, there's 2 giant cobias. He's like, no way, and he's like, oh my god! And of course, Russ always rigged up for everything. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I go, he's right there, right there, right. And by then I'm already fireman up the top. I throw a fire, and guys, I'm gonna do the full story so you can hear how crappy I was on the first shot. Just so
Oh no.
I'm human.
Did they just swim up? They just swam
No,
up to the
dude,
boat?
they were like circling it. They were getting it on. It was a easily a 60 pounder, maybe bigger, but it was a triple Cadillac. It was a limo. It was a
Yeah.
limo, and she had a boy with her just chilling with her, like just warm, and then so I did. They went around, and I was up there, and I had a wobble bobble in a wave, and I was like underhand, poof, and I threw a super high underhand that pretty much came down on top of him. But I was like, I'm not a minute. I didn't cancel. I usually terminate if it's bad, but it was the first one. You don't know if you're gonna get a shot again. You're all excited. You're keyed in, and boof, and they kind of saw it. It kind of split them. When they turned on it, when they turned, they both split to turn on it. When I popped it a couple times, and the water was 30-foot visibility, man, like you could see forever.
So
So they
clear.
were I pop. They kind of came, and then he was like, nah, I'm kind of hanging out with her, and then they turned. And then he went back to like swerving with her. And I was like, okay, I see you. And then so we got in position. And there's a very important part coming up. So we got in position. Boat's still sitting there where we were. I mean, we had never moved. We're still sitting on spot lock. And so I finally go, I throw again. I get them, and then they're gone. We don't see them. So then I throw like a bunch of times because the other day recently I was just throwing one out there to jig around. I got one halfway up just for playing. But and it got off, but they got to fight it for a little while. I had a good time. But anyway, and so I did that a few times, and trying to get him to come. And I had a strike. I was like, all right, we struck it. And he ate half my chong's jig skirt, ate my little tail off it too. I was like, oh, I got my tail. I was bumming. And then he was like, Russ, of course, ninja had me retied, ready to roll. And then we played the game where guys, you just kind of lose them. They don't go. They're like, you want to leave. You're like, all right, that's that. But nope. I was like, they'll come back up. And sure enough,
Yep.
there they are right there. Cool. We got another couple shots on. Got another couple shots. Nope, didn't happen. So then, after a little more time, because it was getting towards the end of the trip, they come back up, and I see them this time. I'm like, all right, they got 3 with them now. There's another one. He's trying to get in the mix, but the 2 are staying together, the guy and the girl, and he was trying to box the other one out. Kind of, they were being a little bit competitive. So I was like, I throw another shot, and right before I go to do that, I throw a shot on the 3, and they split again. And I was like, man, they're just not gonna eat. I get on my radio. I'm like, poof. Anybody got some live bait around here? Anybody out here by the windmills got some live bait? And I clicked off, and I was like, you know what? I forgot to tell them why. The reason was I didn't want the live bait for us. I was so mad at those cobias. I wanted them to come over and use their live bait and smoke them cobias. And we were gonna watch them kill them. No one messes with us. It goes by our boat. I'm just kidding, man. That's the way when you're out there, that's your mentality.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it all. So here's what happens. Here's the story. So as I'm calling back on the radio, I go, all right, guys. I was like, hey, look, I didn't ask for the live bait for us. I want you to come over here, and Russ goes, there they are. And I click off the mic, throw it down. He's right on the right side. And his nickname off the pier, drafted him right off the Buckroe Pier. First round draft pick. Anyway, Magaling means big cobia, and Magaling is up on top and has 0 cobias to his name for this summer. That's the most in his history of his life. And it's because he's turned into an offshore fisherman, and he does all this wreck fishing and stuff, and he's off. We're out there a lot more. We have a boat built for out there, and you know what I mean? It's what it does.
Yeah.
So anyway, that being all said, he throws his first cast of the year and runs down and it hooks the sucker. Wham! Runs it down to the clients, and it's going for the windmill. I gun the boat around the windmill to the left, and we pull this sucker off the windmill. He's got a couple more chasing it. I can't get one out in time. And by the time he's trying to rig up a money, he's got a fight coach. Now, we got a mate on the boat, or you and a buddy with you if you have extra people. Always get one guy driving. Try to get one guy being the fight coach, telling the captain what's going on, and the other guy fighting. That's the best rhythm to have, guys. So we do that. We call it fight coach. So he goes over to make sure the guy's out of the motor, doing all those things, not over jerking on the rod. They did good. They passed it off a good couple times. It was a good fish, man, and we could see it deep. So when it got close very early, I knew it wasn't ready because I was like, no way. And of course, once that thing buzzed back out it took us another 20 minutes to get it up. And it was a big one. It was like 40-pounder or something like that. I don't know what you guys would weigh it at, probably 40 or 50 or something. It was like 48 inches or something like that. And it was a good one, man. We were stoked to have it. But here's the point, guys. I needed to give you the tip, though. The tip of the day, guys. Everybody who cobia fishes on the tower knows this. You cannot chunk the motors when you're near cobia. What does chunk the motor mean? Here's what chunk the motor means. Here's what chunk the motor means. If you're going in gear and you see a cobia and you want to turn off on them, you can go to neutral. You're fine to do that. But if you accidentally, or you have a rookie up there, or you do it yourself, you chunk.
Don't go to reverse.
You actually go past neutral and hit reverse. Or even if you're in neutral and you want to catch up to him and he's right next to the boat and you chunk it in gear, chunk means the clutch dogs are grabbing a spinning motor, go chunk. And then what happens? I've seen it a million times. That sucker runs, dude. You're not getting another shot, dude. And you might get it. He might come back up, but he's going to be knowing you're a boat. He knows you're there. It's over. So that being said, guess what happens 20 times every 30 seconds on Yamaha Spot Lock? Chunk. And we didn't think about it, dude. So I'm sitting up at the top. I'm whipping at him the first 20. I'm like, all these whips I was doing, I was like, chunk. So when he came up the next time, we went to nooch, drifted away, and whammo, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
That's
That's
so
just history.
interesting. I didn't think about that with spot lock, because
Oh,
with spot lock they're constantly shifting and forward,
they're not
reverse,
bad,
trying to
but
hold
it's
the
chunking. Yeah,
spot.
it's got to do
Yeah.
all. It's got to go
Yep.
this way, that way, outside, inside. It's
Yep.
chunking. It's chunking. Yeah, I feel the chunks. When you're on the boat, you feel the surges too when
Yeah.
it gets in gear. But
Such a good
how about
reminder.
that for a point, man? Some more
Yep.
Yamaha shout outs. And Troy Marine.
There's
Don't forget, guys. Troy Marine. Give him a shout here before long. Give him a shout. Troy Marine. Troy Shields.
Absolutely. I
All
actually
y'all.
got to see I got to meet Gary and Andrew this morning. Dropped off my boat for a repair, and man, great property, great facility. Met Clark on the forklift back
Yeah,
there.
Clark's awesome, man.
Super nice guys.
Yeah,
Great
man.
great
Pros, man.
place.
Love them guys.
Salt of the earth guys out there. But man, it's such a cool experience. I've not been able to do it myself. I've not seen it yet, the cobias around the windmills, but I mean, it's
Oh
got to
my
be
God, bro.
such a cool experience to see them in that crystal clear water, because I'm used to seeing them in the bay water.
Oh
But
my
like,
God.
dude, how cool is it to see them in that
Man,
crystal clear
you
water?
know, I regret not filming it, man. I usually put a good video or two up there, and I didn't have my phone, and I was already in the mix, and he was already down. It was already on. It was too late to get that phone
Yeah,
up there. I
yeah,
mean, looking back at 20 minutes of that thing, and he ran us in three circles. He took us back to the windmill like three times. We had to go.
yeah.
I had to cut it in between there and smash the gas once. I mean, it was a worthy fight.
That's dude. That to me, that 47 to 49-inch cobia is the hardest fighting class of cobia. I've caught some 60, 65 pounders that, you just kind of reel them in and they're just kind of complacent. You get that like 47-incher, 48-incher, they're
Yeah,
like in the prime of their life and they just fight so hard the whole time, straight up and down, dig, 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 dig.
you got that right, man. You got that right.
That's yeah.
Well, offshore wise, guys, here's what we got coming up. There's a marlin here. If you're a marlin fisherman, you can talk to some boats and do that. Mahi is going to be popping off. We are still not giving up on the tuna. We are not. Tomorrow I will troll for a tuna. All right,
Nice,
and maybe
nice.
Saturday too. But I have been trolling for tuna. So let it be known. I'm still
They're
going,
gonna
guys.
show
When I
up.
find them,
They
I'm going to
gotta
tell
show up.
everybody. There's no tournaments. There's none of that stuff I always talk about. There's no. If I find them, I'm telling everybody where they are, and we're going to make a dang tuna fishery. Sometimes guys, listen to this little sad fact. I want to find them close enough to home where we can get them, but sometimes I want to go far enough where I don't care where they are. I want to get them. But if I find them too far where nobody can get them, then it doesn't matter that I got them. But it does
Right.
matter for me for my freezer. So it's going to happen. Something's going to happen soon. Something will give way. But I might,
Absolutely.
and playing hooky. Just so you guys know, we might have a long range trip coming up. We might do a Ocean City or go off of Maryland and do a little bit extra fuel. Our boat does hold a lot. We don't burn enough, so we're gonna have extra capacity to make a run. We might just charge the fuel surcharge on top of our price and put it in the walk on. But I want to go get some tuna. You know why? I only got about 3 weeks left, and I got to find them. So, or I might have to stretch. I don't want to stretch that out. I want to go way more. And I remember the seasonal thing you're supposed to eat. I want to eat tuna. It's time. I feel like.
Yeah. What do you think it is that is, because last year there was a tuna bite that hung around for a good while. Is it when you look at the water shots, is it that the
It's
warm
amount of
water
boats.
line?
It's amount of boats going, man. It's if
Uh
and I hate to say it, man, but if people don't have a gimme putt where they can't just tap it right in and do it, they're not going to go out there, man. I mean, they'll
right.
go out there and try. They'll go, all right, I'm deep dropping. But if they want to do, put in some time, troll out in the mids, troll out in the fingers. I mean, I've trolled out in the fingers a bunch of trips where you won't have nothing at the canyon, finish off at the fingers. Start at the fingers, work your way to the canyon. We're always trying. I mean, last year we had more boats coverage is the key. We had boats, small boats, and we kept hanging on. And I'll be honest, I won't give myself any credit, but I'll take some where it's due. We kept on the tuna all week long last year. There was other boats as well out there working on their trips as well, but it wasn't as much. But we were
Yeah.
there consistently catching, staying in the same area where people were still going, knowing where we were. If you see playing hooky post tunas and you were there near playing hooky, then that's where the tunas were, and they could tell more people, and people can keep going. It takes
Right.
coverage, man. When we have
Yeah.
coverage and boats going, and it takes somebody just finding them, man. I had a
Yeah.
buddy who found some yellowfins the other day close to us, and I went back out the next day and couldn't find them. So it's
Yeah.
just we got to keep
They move
trying.
quick.
We'll
They
pile
move.
them up. Fish have tails. They say it on
Yep.
all the older guys say that
They
all the
have
time.
tails and they don't
They
have
do.
addresses. They
No,
do
they
not have
don't. They don't.
addresses.
They
And they
change.
don't have calendars either. But speaking of calendars, if folks are looking at their calendars and they're hearing you talk about mahi and flounder and sea bass and the occasional opportunity to snag a cobia out there, And they're like, man, I got to get out there. I got to do it. Whether it's a walk on or they're planning a special trip, whether it's a corporate party for their business or something for their family or a birthday party or just their boys getting together to have fun. How do they book a trip with Playing Hooky?
Man, I'll tell you what, you guys, you go to playinghookycharters.com. You can go to Facebook, look at Playing Hooky Charters, and you can go to Instagram at the playing_hookies. There's no G in playing, guys. It's just PLAYIN. And it's not really too hard to get a hold of me. I got Starlink, so if you want to talk or chat, that's cool too. About a charter, that'd be great. I still get lots of texts and messages about other stuff, which is cool too. Can't be mad at that. But
Nope.
yeah, you guys want to do that? We're gonna be doing the ladies tournament here coming up. The next month is gonna be prime time. These next 2 months for Mahi, it's gonna be September. It's gonna be August and September are gonna be super prime for booking Mahi. We've got a lot of people booking them up. We still do have some later dates in the month open. So try to snag a couple of those or jump on a walk on. Those are only 520 a person, and you get that includes the mate tip, and you get up to
Nice.
10 fish per person. And we are going to be going to the deep to get the bigger size mahis. A primary goal. I mean, you're going to take what you get on a rec trip, but other times we're going to be looking for the bigger mahi and the gaffers
Nice.
as well, guys. So don't forget, like they say, man, get booked and get hooked. And
Heck yeah.
I got a shout out to Kevin Agee, man. Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to him at Waypoint Marine. Guy's the baddest, one of the baddest dudes in the whole industry around this area, man. He literally had an electrical issue, and within a day, he already was down there that evening, afternoon, knocking it out and taking care of the playing hooky crew, man. He's awesome.
That's what's up.
He's fam,
It's
dude.
it's understated. We talked about this on a previous show. It's like you got your crew, you got your mate, you got your boat, and then besides that, the next most important person on the team is your mechanic
Yeah.
and your electrician. Like those guys keep you running, keep you moving. So man, it's
Yep.
always so much fun to catch up with you and get a snip of the adventures aboard Playing Hooky. You guys never have a dull moment. Shout out to Russ. Russ, if you're listening to this, man, you are the unsung hero of Playing Hooky, keeping things baited, keeping things moving, getting the fish gaffed into the boat, making sure the charter guests have fun. And hey, by the way, I got some extra ear patches if you need them. I'll hit you up tomorrow when I come to snag that mahi from you.
Do you got an extra box, man? Yeah, that'll be
I
great,
do,
man.
I do. It
Hey,
would be my pleasure to.
can I give one last shout out to the ladies? There, hey, ladies, we are gonna. I think it's July or August 17th or 18th, somewhere in there. There's a women's Rudy. It's the Rudy
Oh yeah, the Rudy
Inlet
Inlet Ladies
Ladies
Tournament.
Open. Ladies
Yep,
Open. Yep.
yep.
And we're gonna be doing that again this year. We're gonna be sponsoring 6 ladies with $100 each towards it. It's gonna be a six. It's gonna cost $600 each, and that's gonna be full entry and charter and tip and everything. So if you know a lady, or if one of you guys know a lady you think's worth, likes fishing offshore and could go win some money, it would be fun to go ahead and go out there and go fishing. Now, I'm not saying if she's super hot, you leave her at home. I want none of that drama. I'm just kidding. I'm just, but I'm just playing. Hey, look, that was not we like every woman. That's just, I don't know if whoever's not is gonna be mad at me now too. Bring it on. I did not mean that. I was just trying to be funny, man. I was just trying to be funny.
Oh,
I was
it
talking to
was
dudes
funny.
for like a half a second, like dudes, dude, don't be sending.
Yeah.
He wants me to send
Yeah.
my hot wife. No, 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 no. And hey, ladies, just get your girls and get a bunch of your friends and let's go. So it's gonna be $600. It'll be all inclusive. We're gonna put the post up
Oh,
and
that'll
and,
be fun.
and take the date here soon. We're just gonna that'll be in the next few days before
Yeah,
the month starts.
you guys did this last year, and you had an awesome group, and there was a
Yeah, we did.
ton of fun pictures, and everybody had a blast, and
Yeah, we blew it
it's
up.
such a good time. It's such a good time.
We wanted
But
to make it big. We tried to help that make that big. We were good.
yeah, Captain Jay Brooks and
Yeah, I
his
like
wife
Jay.
Megan, they do a great job smoke show
Megan too.
fishing, putting this together.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right.
So, well, Captain Bill, man, thank you for being on the show as always and bringing the fun, bringing the party. We look forward to catching up with you soon and see what big mahis and cobia you drag in next.
You got it, buddy. Tunas. All right, sorry.
Tunas, baby. Tunas, baby.
I'm just kidding.
Uh,
All right, buddy.
Folks, that's going to wrap up a really fun segment talking about offshore with the mahi, the flounder, the sea bass, and of course, the star of the show, the cobia. Y'all stick around for a quick word from our sponsors who make this content fun and free for you each and every week, and we'll be back with you real soon.
This podcast is brought to you by EMS and Indeck PVC decking. Hooks rust, lines tangle, the one that got away always does. Some things aren't meant to last. This isn't one of them. For coastal homeowners, marina and dock properties, and waterfront builders, Indeck delivers a premium finished surface without the constant upkeep. Indeck's capped cellular PVC dock and deck boards never rot, clean up easily with soap and water, and offer strong slip resistance in wet or dry conditions. Indeck, designed for what comes next. See the full line at pages.easternmetal.com/Great Days. Turn your dock into more than just a place to park your boat with Slipski's Dorado Oasis cover. Engineered for both beauty and protection, the Dorado Oasis transforms your dock into a shaded, all-weather living space, perfect for relaxing by the water or entertaining friends. Built from marine-grade aluminum and premium fabric, it also provides year-round protection from sun, rain, and debris. Whether you're lounging dockside or keeping your boat covered and ready to go, Slipski delivers comfort, convenience, and peace of mind. Slipski, think outside the boathouse. Visit slipski.com.
All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed that report with Captain Bill. The Mahi stories never disappoint. Always something fun going on. But I do want to catch up and talk about some of the other fishing that's been going on, and also kind of a unique encounter that one of our local captains had, Captain Kenny Mills aboard Sea Shift Sport Fishing. Welcome back to the show, Captain Kenny. How are we doing today?
Hey, doing good, man. Good to be back on.
Absolutely. It's good to have you back, man. You guys have a lot of fun out there, and you bounce between the Sea Shift, C as in Charlie, and Sea Shift, SEA. So right now, where are you? Where are you actually working right now? Are you on the Sea Shift or the Sea Shift?
So at this moment, I'm sitting in the driver's seat of the fire truck. We're luckily not on a call right now, so maybe we can knock this out. And tomorrow I'll be back on the Sea Shift on the boat.
Nice.
And yeah, so
that's
awesome. Never know where you'll find me.
I know, man, and it's funny to hear you talk about being on a on land on a truck, because normally you're on the fire boat. So I didn't know you did the truck too. So what gets you on the truck from time to time?
So the way it works is we're actually on the truck. I drive the ladder. My job is I'm a ladder operator and the boat operator. So
okay,
we function like a normal firehouse, but if we get a water call, then we just go to the boat and go and respond. We don't actually patrol all day. We do go out every day, but for if a call comes in for a water rescue, we just jump on the truck and drive to the boat real quick. The boat's only a couple minutes from the firehouse. So
got it.
That's how it works. So depending on the call, it could be fighting fire in a house or doing a water rescue or whatever. So it just depends. But yeah, so I drive the ladder truck and the fireboat, and that's how it works.
So you were talking about rescue, and it made me think. I've seen a rash of salvage jobs lately with boats sinking. In your opinion, just having been around boats, fabricated and built boat parts and boats, what's going on with all these boats sinking in their slips lately?
So my opinion is we've had a few good storms where, I think one storm was over 3 inches of rain in one go. And these boats, I'm not saying they're not maintenance correctly, or it could happen to anyone. Someone could take care of their boat every day. But if that bilge pump might not kick on for 3 or 5 inches of rain, it's going to be enough water to possibly put your scuppers under. And then once those scuppers go underwater, those boats are going to sink. So some of these torrential downpours we've had lately, which we've had a good handful, seem to correspond with these boats that are sinking. But my guess, it's something along the lines of that rainwater putting enough weight in that boat to get those scuppers to dip. And once they dip, then the seawater is going to come in and take over. And that would be my guess.
Yeah.
Because it just makes sense with what I've seen.
Yeah.
It could happen to anyone, but, some of the boats that sink are the ones that, someone might not have been down to the boat for the last month, or, they're, busy or whatever, and battery died, so now the bilge pump doesn't work, and, you get some rainwater in there like our normal storms that never gets pumped out, then you get one of those heavy torrentials, and
it's enough.
That's all she wrote, man.
Yep, no doubt. I was actually sitting in my office when that storm you're talking about hit, and it was so it was so much rain that it overflowed every single gutter and washed all the mulch out of the beds. I mean, it was an intense amount of rain. I remember looking at the radar while it was happening, and it was this just gigantic red ball that was probably 8 or 9 miles in diameter, and it moved right across South Virginia Beach and right over the marinas. So I mean, it probably was a big part of it. And then you add on the other rainstorm that I think happened a couple of days later overnight, and that's probably what like you're saying, if you get one and then you get the second, and then you're not there in between, boom. Unfortunately, it can take the boat out. It's a good reminder to make sure your bilge pumps are wired. Your bilge pump switches are wired directly to the battery, not to the on-off switch, because if it only works when the battery switch is on, you got a problem. But anyways, enough about boat maintenance. So talk us through some of your recent trips, and remind folks what kind of boat it is that you guys run.
So I run a 24-foot privateer that's been redone it's been about 6 years now. Tower, pretty much your typical cobia looking center console with the cobia tower and everything. Very stable boat for its size. And lately we've been doing a mixed bag of things. We have the new windmill farm that's, every day it's a learning thing out there, and it's something new.
Yeah.
There's lots of life out there. I'm not going to share my opinion on the windmills themselves, because that's just, everyone has their opinions on them and whether they're good, bad, or ugly. But, as far as the fishing goes, every windmill has rocks around it, and I think there's like 180 of them going in. So,
wow.
In a fisherman's perspective, there's 180 new wrecks out there. And the structure, it's holding fish, and then you got your learning curve on trying to figure out how to catch fish on them. If it's sometimes in a new area, it's a new technique or whatever, but it's mostly wreck style fishing, and we've been playing with that a lot. It's at the max reach of my boat. My boat is, I don't take it offshore. I'm not chasing tuna and stuff like that. But we will go to the windmills, which, if you're not familiar with it, the first one is 27 miles from Rudy Inlet, which is where I run from. And then they can stretch up to 41 miles, if you go all the way to the back.
Yeah. Yep.
But one of the things we've liked doing out there is triggerfish. It's a really good eating fish. It bites pretty decent, and it looks different too. So like it's something cool for people to see. And you talk about the little, they have a defense mechanism where their fin pulls up, and then you can't push it down, and then you show people where the trigger is. That you press it, and then that folds down, and people get a kick out of that. And it's cool seeing
that thing is cool. Yeah.
And the flounder bite out there has been this new thing that's going on, and everyone's loving that. And also, in the whole time you're doing all this, you're getting random nice sea bass. So.
Oh yeah.
And then one of my favorite things, because, being an inshore boat, you don't really get a whole lot of Mahi in your boat, and they've been around out there, and we've been taking advantage of that. And
that's cool.
And when I say Mahi, I'm not talking about like what you're thinking out of a Fisher magazine, but we call them flip-flop Mahi or chicken dolphin, and, like everyone's probably a sandwich or two, but they're like, it's a really good meat to catch and add to the mix when you're out there. So we always try and put some time aside to do that. And we've been doing a lot of trolling for that. So
there's nothing wrong with those. I've never heard the term flip-flop dolphin, but that actually makes a lot of sense. And there's a lot of truth to what you're saying. They're fun to catch. I remember in 2022 going out to the two windmills with Cat Merrick Myers, and we were just sea bassing at the bottom, and I caught what you would call flip flop mahi, and it came up with a bunch of them, and we just sat there and bailed them. It was so much fun, and like you said, it's not a ton of meat per fish, but man, it's just delicious meat, and they're so fun to catch, and they're pretty to look at in the water, and just it's a
Yeah,
it's a fish behavior in the water that's really unlike any other fish. And so when you get to
it
explore,
really is.
it's just fun,
And
next.
like even yesterday we were trolling, and you see them coming, like they launch out of the water and fly back on there, and launch out of the water, and like you just like, oh, here we go. You're in this like 4 or 5 of them, and we get a few nice ones in there that might make you think about a gaff, but you're probably still not going to do it. As the captain that you just had on, I think on this episode before me, Bill, he's the dolphin mahi slayer. I mean, his boat has a little more reach than mine, but like he's getting those really good, nice size ones and stuff like that too. And if we get one where I'm at, it's like, whoa, but it's still very possible. It's cool.
Yeah. I think while we've been talking today, which is Friday the 31st, Bill's out there right now and has already caught a couple of very nice, I guess you'd call them gaffers on the troll. And I think you're right. That's the difference is that how far east you go and where those fish are. And again, I don't have a way to support this opinion. It's just my opinion. But I think in the next year or two, I think we're going to really see a really cool fishery develop out there around those windmills as the fish start to understand that the bait's there, the structure's there, and they just kind of figure it out and start like working their way in from that, deep ledge.
I agree. I mean, even last August, there was some yellowfin caught out there. So like that's really cool. And one of the other things that's been neat is we caught a cobia, I don't know, about 5 days ago, and it had 3 or 4 sea bass, like really small ones, but that they're eating, which I've never caught a cobia with a sea bass in the belly, but
Me
that
neither.
was really cool. So I mean, I think the fish are learning, just like we are, that these things might be a place to hang out. So we'll just see it. And there's a lot of them out there, so hopefully it's enough to not get overfished, and you just spread out there. It is a little bit of a reach, 27 miles. You're not just taking any little small boat out there that you can. So we'll see how it goes. I have been out there already where you're like, every one you're trying to go to, there's a boat sitting there already. So it'd be interesting how it rolls out.
Yeah, on those like really nice days. And I do think it's important to kind of pause and hit on safety real quick. So 27 miles, we're past cell service. We're in that zone where if you're not managing your fuel correctly, you could have an issue, or if you're having a health issue or otherwise. So what kind of safety gear do you keep on the boat for when you're going outside of that, I'll say comfort zone of, 5 or so miles offshore? What do you take?
One thing, start with the fuel. Like, I don't like seeing my boat under half a tank. So, when we get out there, I fish accordingly to that. And I try to get back to within 10 miles of the beach with a half a tank still. So you got to learn your boat and learn your reach and stuff like that. And I mean, half a tank is extreme, but that's just me. But, and then, I also have a Garmin, inReach. So I'm able to reach out for help at any point via text message, or something. And then when I do that, my wife actually connects to it, and she can track me all day long. We can have, anytime you send a text out, it sends your Latin long as well. So people know where your last text came from, and, stuff like that. So as far as much other safety gear than your typical Coast Guard approved stuff, I do have some flares that go, twice as high as your typical, like, just holding in your hand flares. Like I have all the flares that shoot up in the sky. So like you can, I don't know if you ever seen a flare, but it's not a lot of time to be basically calling for help. That thing goes up in the sky and it goes out pretty quick. So I actually have some that are on parachutes that last a little longer.
Oh, that's cool.
It sounds dumb, but these little things, like, they add
Could be the
up.
difference. Yeah.
And I'm not required to have a lifeboat or anything like that. If you were commercial fishing or something like that, that becomes a requirement. But when we do not have one, but it is something to think about. Like if you have room on your boat to mount one of those things, or it's definitely a peace of mind. The other cool thing, sometimes I say it's like a false sense of security, but it is something, is when you are out there, there's almost a worker, a ship or something always out there, and every windmill has a ladder. So like, something to think about.
Yeah.
Something happens terrible, you can get to one of those windmill bases. You can cling on to something for,
a while.
To give your chances a better.
Yeah.
And if some kind of, something happens where you lose your electronics and stuff, every windmill has directional painted around them, so you can look at them and know which way you need to go for land or whatever. But I wouldn't rely on that stuff. Like I said, it's a false sense of security. But
yeah,
you got boats. If they're out there working, I mean, you can get help faster than you used to because there's people out there.
Right, those large industrial boats and the workers. In fact, I pulled up to one windmill one time, was fishing, and looked up, and I saw guys walking around up there. There was no boat nearby, but they'd obviously been dropped off. And so I agree with you. It gives you a sense of comfort knowing that, like, even if you did end up like clinging to that ladder overnight, you would anticipate or expect that you would see some sort of boat traffic, some sort of sign of life by dawn the next day. But definitely not something to rely on. But it could be the difference of living or dying.
Pure Flat slick lures are tried, true, and guide approved. Slick lures catch big speckled trout, redfish, flounder, and more. You can cast them a mile, and they produce a highly erratic bait fish imitation with a twitching retrieve. The tournament-winning slick has helped many anglers set personal best records. Whether you're fishing the OG slick, the smaller profile slick junior, or the versatile lil slick, one is sure to find that unforgettable thump we're all after. Visit your local tackle retailer or pureflats.com for your favorite color and rigging combination. Go sling some slicks today. You can't catch them on the sofa.
And back to your comment about the lifeboat, those are required for commercial fishing, especially bluefin tuna fishing. And that's because it's typically happening in the wintertime where your survival chances, diminish almost 100%. If you're in the water for an in-water rescue. Whereas, during the summertime, if you end up in the water holding on to a capsized boat or whatever, you're not going to freeze to death or die from hypothermia. Different story when that water's, 60 degrees or lower. Really, I think you can actually get hypothermic if you're in the water long enough when it's 80 degrees, believe it or not.
Absolutely. Yep.
So something for people to think about.
Yep. And I always say, you always think of things like, have a plan. Like, don't be scared of everything, but play it in your head if your boat's sinking. Like, what would I do? Lock my Yeti. Grab my Yeti. Like, you can float on those Yeti coolers for a long time. Stuff like that.
Yep.
And always, have your stuff easily accessible. Yada yada. Like yeah, man. It's definitely something. When you go 27 miles out there, and you get that false sense of security once you reach the windmills because you feel like you're at land again almost, and like people don't. You got to really pay attention to that weather. Like 27 miles, if you're at the front, is a long way to run back through a storm or really different conditions than it was when you came out. So like you got to plan and just, it's always, if you're on the water long enough, it's going to catch you no matter what. But you gotta have a plan in your head, and when it happens, at least you tried to play it in your head before.
Yeah, but, and I'm really glad that you're harping on this for this reason only. It's new, it's exciting, and it's almost tempting a lot of boats that would have never considered really leaving the mouth of the bay. It's tempting a lot of boats in that 20 to 24 foot range that don't have experience offshore to go ahead and push out there and try to make something happen. And they have not spent the time to invest in the proper safety gear or communication gear. I'll bet you a lot of people are out there. And if you said, hey, what channel do you use to hail the Coast Guard? Or, hey, does your VHF radio work? They'd probably look at you and go, I think so, but have never had to, because it's not part of their regular practice, going out there and fishing the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, or, the Cabbage Patch wrecks, or, off Buckroe, whatever. So I think it's a good opportunity to just, hey, it's exciting. There's a lot of fish out there to catch, but take your time and make sure you have a float plan, your safety gear, and that you're experienced with your communication gear, because you might feel like it's no big deal, but it really could be a big deal, especially if you have other people on your boat.
And one thing we joke about is, when you see those windmills, if you've never been there, you don't realize how big they are. So as soon as you start seeing them real well, you're like, cool, we're almost there. But they're 800 feet tall. The blades are 300 foot long. So like you drive straight at these windmills, you could be driving for, a long time, and you're like, I'm not getting any closer to that thing.
Yeah.
But if you've never been, you're like, oh, well, they're just right there. I'm going to go for it. And, next thing you know, you're like, that's not right there. It's massive. But yeah, man. So I was feeling that.
You're 100% correct. Like when I went out on my little boat and I was running, I'm like, oh, there's the tower. Oh, I can see the windmills. And it's like, nope, you've got another 45 minutes to go. So it definitely takes some time. But walk us back inshore. So you fish inshore too, like near the beach and whatnot. What have you guys been seeing in your last couple of trips near the beach?
So the Spanish mackerel bite has been really good. That's always a great thing to throw in the cooler, because to me, Spanish is delicious as any other fish. And it really helps add to the meat bag at the end of the day. There's been some really nice drum school around. They haven't shown themselves as much, but we've been catching a few here and there on the plug bite, we call it. And also have been catching some cobia trolling. And so that's always a good bonus when you're riding along, and next thing you know, you're hooked up to a cobia. Mm-hmm. And the inshore's been pretty good.
Nice.
I would say the Spanish has been very, very consistent compared to last year, where you kind of had to find them, but right now it seems a little more spread out, where you kind of almost run into them every day and get a good, decent catch of them.
Yeah. That's good to hear, especially because what is it? July 31st, next Saturday is the Hooked on Hope Spanish mackerel tournament. So that's exciting to hear that there's a good bite going for that.
I actually registered for that last night.
Good for you, because I was worried that you were in one of those tiny buckets if you were the 56th boat.
I almost wanted a tiny bucket just to be funny.
I got a funny feeling the tiny bucket's going to become like its own thing next year.
That's funny. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's been the inshore thing. We had a recent experience where I've seen a couple dead dolphins lately, and we came across my second one of the week the other day. So I called the stranding team, because you don't normally see two like within 2 days. But
oh, I didn't realize that it was your second that you had seen. And I did mean to ask about this, because I was curious when you posted about this. I was like, whoa, I have never seen a dead dolphin, and I didn't even know that there was a stranding team to call. So yeah, talk us through this experience.
So there's a stranding team that with the name stranding team, you kind of think, well, they only deal with things that are alive, but they actually are very interested in any kind of, especially mammals, sea life mammals that are dead. They have a team of scientists, and they do what we would kind of think is an autopsy, but they call it a necropsy. And they are very interested in it, and they don't actually get the opportunity to deal with, say, a dead dolphin in good condition very often. So when I found this one the other day, I called, and they were incredibly thankful, and they actually were trying to see if I could bring it to them, which my first thought of like, man, I'm not trying to put Flipper in the back of my boat and ride around and get caught by the game warden or something. But after
somebody
talking
sees
to them,
somebody sees you coming through the inlet. That guy has a dolphin on his boat.
Yeah, but they assured me they had my back, and they had all the permits, and they had the notes they were taking from my phone call to back up the information, and they said it wouldn't be any issue. And they were just like really very thankful if I could bring this to them, because they had no means to go get it at the time. And by the time they did get their boat, who knows where it would have been, blah, blah, blah. So, and this thing, like I said, it looks like it had only been dead for like a day.
Wow.
But so they're going to check back in with me, and we actually just got a call. So I got to go. I'm sorry to cut it short, but
no, you're good. Sounds like
go.
Duty calls. All right, fire.
Yeah,
the fire engine has to roll. Well, Captain Kenny, thanks for being on the show. And real quick, before you guys jump off, how do folks contact you to book a trip?
You can just look me up by my name on social media, and 757-681-1099.
Awesome. Well, man, thank you so much for hopping on. Be safe, and thank you for taking care of everyone's fire and safety needs.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. Folks, that's going to wrap up a great report this week. We learned a lot about the windmills and all the different types of fishing you can do around there. I do want to just stress again about the safety gear. I'm saying this for my own benefit because I went out there and realized, hey, this was a lot of fun, had a great time, everything went well, but I actually did not have a communication method on board, and it stung to think about, because like, man, I put myself and my buddy that I was with technically in danger. So I will be making sure that I have a personal locator beacon or an EPIRB on board, as well as either Starlink or a Garmin inReach before I take my vessel out to the windmills again next time. Something else that I just wanted to remind everybody, the Hooked on Hope event is August the 8th with Captain Mike Roby and his whole team. There's already about 50 some odd boats that are signed up. They have such a fun party. Captain Reese is going to be there. I'm sure Jenny with Shutter Speed is going to be taking pictures. And again, we've talked about it on the show, but Captain Mike and that whole team, what they do is truly honorable. And, I just want to encourage everybody that is looking forward to these upcoming tournaments, whether it's, Wallace's, who pretty much gives 100% of the proceeds back to the anglers, or the Cobia East, where you're supporting local youth wrestling programs. 100% of the proceeds go to that nonprofit. Or this weekend's Gloucester Shop with a Cop. I mean, look into these organizations, these 501c3 nonprofit organizations that these tournaments benefit. They're really great organizations. And all I would ask is that as you look into fishing a tournament, remember the fishing community here is meant to have fun and be part of an honorable ecosystem where we support one another and support great causes. So always look behind the fine print and make sure you understand who you're supporting when you enter these tournaments, and hope you guys have a lot of fun and enjoy fishing for these cobia that are so much fun to go after, especially in these tournaments. Till next time, you guys be safe out there, and we'll look forward to catching up with Captain Mike after this weekend's or next weekend's Hooked on Hope tournament and find out who the winner's going to be. Y'all be safe out there.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
If you're 21 or older and use nicotine or tobacco, it's time you charge ahead to Black Buffalo, America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo dips just like the real thing, but without the tobacco leaf or stem. Get it now at Wawa, Circle K, Sheetz, Love's, Pilot, Racetrack, and many more that you can see on their store locator at blackbuffalo.com. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative is everything you love about dip, nothing you don't. All right, y'all, that's going to wrap it up this week. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, to get your free APCO Camo Sunglasses Cleaner Cloth, text the acronym LCBFR to 779-345-2918 to get your promo code and be added to our email list so we can send you the new show each week. You guys keep on whacking them and be safe out there.